Good day, everybody. My apologies. This was supposed to be a live stream. I could not get it to work this morning, even though I practiced it and it worked last night. These things happen. So here is a recording of what should have been live this morning. Walking with words. Words create worlds. These were the words of my mentor, the late Judith E. Glaser. Judith was an organisational anthropologist and the creator of Conversational Intelligence, which is the neuroscience of conversations. Hi, I am Lois, your friend for forgiveness from Walking Without Skin, and I'm delighted to be able to share this journey with you, this journey of self-discovery and growth on how to succeed and to win in life and in business. So let us hold a conversation. Join me, share your stories, share your insights, and let's co-create a future that is thriving and full of life, full of mojo, and where we can find freedom. We want to develop a growth mindset. We want to build our resilience and grit. We want to energize our mojo, and we want to learn how to forgive. I was cycling in Vietnam and I was carrying a very large, very expensive camera. And I turned a corner and lost my balance and rolled down into this ditch. I injured myself quite badly. It could have been worse. If you look at those spiky bamboos there, I could have really caused some serious damage. But as I fell, I thought this camera is going to get broken. And I shouted, my camera, my camera. And one of my cycling companions picked up my camera. And instead of just rescuing it, took this very unglamorous photograph of myself. And that is part of what we're going to do on this journey. We're going to learn the lesson of what happened. And we're going to learn to laugh at ourselves through that process. Nelson Mandela said, do not judge me by my success. Judge me by how many times I fell down and got back up again. I say, judge me by my resilience and my grit and how many times I come back from adversity or disappointment and forge forward with new aspirations. So I'm going to quickly share my model to show you the journey of discovery to freedom. So we go through life, normal functioning, everything's great, and then something happens that disrupts us. Some change happens, and it could be any kind of change. It could be an accident, a divorce, it could be the death of a loved one, it could be the pandemic, and it could be something a lot worse. Something disrupts us, and life suddenly is not the same anymore. And we become a victim. We have all those associated emotions of being a victim. And that includes fear, anger, hatred, depression, blame, guilt, and many more debilitating emotions. And as a victim, it's important that we experience those emotions, that we understand what the impact is that they are having on our mind and on our bodies. We then need to build our resilience, and resilience is our strength, it's our courage, it's our creativity. It's how we start opening a dialogue, we debate with ourselves, with others. We start trying to make sense of what is actually going on here. What happened? Why did it happen? What did it do to serve me? What can I do about it? And then we become a survivor. And to be a survivor is still in a struggle mode. You haven't got your life quite back together, but it's starting to make sense and you're getting on with life. And it is that struggle. And you may still drop back down into the victim phase. Something triggers you, things go wrong, things don't go according to plan, and you start blaming and hating and getting fearful all over again. The next thing we need to do is to develop our grit. And our grit is our passion. It's where we set new aspirations, new goals, and we forge forward now with passion and perseverance and persistence. And we start achieving some level of success, some level of happiness, and we become thrivers. We become empowered and successful. And it's at this phase where we either suffer from or we gain post-traumatic growth, but where we work on developing our growth mindset, where we find out the lessons learned. How did this impact me negatively and positively? How have I changed? How have I grown? What is happening? And you start understanding more. You become a lifelong learner. You start investigating. You start researching. You start finding out the meaning of so much more. And some of us may develop a benefit mindset where we now give back. We give back to society and we help other people achieve their success. And then the next phase is to forgive. And before we reach the forgiveness stage, even as a thriver, you may still be triggered and you may still fall back to survivor or to victim phase. It's not a linear journey. It really is a journey of up and down and backwards and forwards. But when you learn to forgive, that is when you are finally free. You start letting go. So you need to forgive. I had to forgive myself for not concentrating, for losing my balance, for maybe holding that expensive camera as I was cycling. I had to forgive myself for those mistakes that I made. And then I had to forgive that photographer for taking that photograph. And that is something else that we learn. We learn to laugh at our misfortunes and we learn to grow through that laughter. And then finally, we can soar and fly to a new freedom. So it's a wonderful journey, and it's so important that we share this journey and go on this journey together, that we grow together, that we find ways to share and encourage and motivate each other, not to go it on our own. So what are the things that block us from having this courageous, thriving, free life? What are the things that stop us? So just think about your own life. What is stopping you from forging forward? You know, we go into crisis management. This whole pandemic has created us a crisis. And so often we jump into a solution that is not sustainable and it's not effective because we jump to the solution before identifying and analyzing and understanding what the real problem is. We may suffer from perfectionism. We don't want to do it until it's 100% right. We may have procrastination. We wait and wait and wait, and then suddenly we've missed the boat altogether. We may be fearful. We may be fearful of what others will think of us. We may be afraid of making mistakes. And I made a mistake this morning, and I'm just carrying on. I couldn't get the life to work. So it's about facing our fears and forging forward anyway. We sometimes go it alone. We need support. We can't go alone. And that support can be in the form of a guide, a mentor, a coach, a therapist, an accountability partner, your family, your friends, or even the greater community. Seek help. Go forward. Let's co-create and collaborate in a future together. You may be suffering from low self-esteem, and maybe even your values are a little bit vague. We tend to form our values in terms of aspirations rather than in terms of behaviors that we can learn and develop and measure and evaluate. So what are the challenges that you are facing? What are the barriers that are stopping you from going forward to this wonderful new free life? Do join me every day, Monday to Friday. We are going to look at the A to Z ways to take back control and to forge forward with agility and to thrive. So please join me tomorrow morning. We hope to go live tomorrow. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, comment, like, share. Let's get as many people onto this platform to share so that together we can go forward into a wonderful new reality. Thank you so much for joining me. Go well and fly free.